simple exercises used by the Japanese to rebuild leg strength after 65, done entirely in bed before your feet ever touch the floor. In Japan, besides being the country with the highest number of people over 100 years old in the world, adults and elderly manage the incredible feat of maintaining strong, steady legs even after 80. While in Western countries, health authorities already report that most people begin losing muscle and leg strength after 50, and that this loss accelerates sharply after 60. This muscle loss brings devastating consequences: difficulty rising from chairs, trouble climbing stairs, walking distances that were once simple, and a drastically increased risk of falls, which represent the main cause of loss of independence in old age. And here is what almost nobody in the West understands. The Japanese do not fix this by walking more. They fix it before they ever stand up. For generations, they have lived closer to the floor, and their mornings begin with slow, controlled movement while the body is still lying down. Walking maintains what is left. These movements rebuild what is missing. And as I usually say, if they can do it, it is because there is a method and you can replicate it. But before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and the city from where you are watching our content. Everything you will see today takes about 8 minutes, and you never have to stand up to do it. Exercise number 1, the knee sway. This is a movement most people would never call exercise. It looks gentle. What happens inside your spine and hips is not. In traditional Japanese homes, life happens at floor level. Sleeping on a futon, sitting on tatami, lowering and rising many times a day. That constant rotation through the middle of the body is something Westerners lose almost entirely once life moves onto chairs and sofas. The knee sway gives it back, and it is the first thing the body asks for after a night of stillness. Rotation through the trunk is one of the very first movements we lose with age. When your trunk stops rotating, your stride shortens and your balance narrows. That is why so many people over 65 walk with short, careful steps. It is not fear, it is stiffness. Research on older adults consistently connects reduced trunk and hip rotation to shorter stride length and slower walking speed. And walking speed is one of the strongest predictors we have of how independently a person will age. To perform it correctly, lie flat on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the mattress about hip width apart, and your arms resting out to your sides. Now, slowly let both knees fall together to the right, only as far as feels easy. Pause there for one breath, then bring them back through the middle and let them fall to the left. A slow, gentle windshield wiper. The secret is in your shoulders. Both shoulders must stay down and heavy against the mattress the whole time. The moment one peels up, the rotation leaves your spine and the movement becomes nothing more than your legs swinging. Take 3 full seconds to fall to one side, 3 to come back, and breathe out as your knees drop. For beginners over 65, start with 10 slow sways to each side. Progressively increase to 15. If one side feels tighter, and one side almost always does, give that side 5 extra. A common mistake is rushing, using momentum instead of control, which turns a spinal movement into a leg movement. Another frequent mistake is forcing the knees all the way down to the mattress on the very first morning. The range returns on its own within a week or two. Never chase it. Beyond mobility, this movement gently mobilizes the lower back and prepares the hip joints to accept your body weight. Many people find their morning back stiffness is already gone before they sit up. For adults over 65, I recommend this every single morning as the very first thing you do after opening your eyes. Exercise number 2, the side-lying leg raise. Here is a muscle group almost nobody trains until it betrays them, the muscles along the outer side of your hip. Their only job is to keep your pelvis level every time one foot leaves the ground, which is every single step you take. When they weaken, your pelvis dips with each step. Your body sways from side to side, and you become vulnerable to the sideways fall. That is the exact fall that breaks hips. Weakness in these muscles is one of the most common findings in older adults who have fallen within the past year, and Japan's notably low hip fracture rate compared to Western countries is one of the clearest signals that this side-to-side strength can be preserved into old age. To perform it correctly, roll onto your side with your bottom leg bent for support, your top leg straight, and your body in one long line. Now lift that top leg about 12 inches slowly, taking 3 seconds. Hold at the top for 2 seconds. Lower for 3 seconds. Repeat. The secret is in the angle of the leg. Most people let it drift forward and turn the toes up toward the ceiling. The moment that happens, the front of the hip takes over, and the muscle you are trying to reach does nothing at all. Keep the leg slightly behind your body's line and turn your toes very slightly down toward the floor. You will feel the effort move to the outside of your hip. That is the muscle you came for. For beginners over 65, start with 8 repetitions per side. Progressively increase to 12, then 15. Once that becomes comfortable, add a light ankle weight or a resistance band above your knees. A common mistake is rolling backward during the lift to make the movement easier, which quietly hands the work to other muscles. Keep your top hip stacked directly over your bottom hip. Another frequent mistake is lifting the leg far too high. 12 inches is plenty. Beyond that, the pelvis tilts and the exercise stops working. Beyond fall prevention, strong outer hip muscles take an enormous load off the knees. Many people with nagging outer knee discomfort find it eases within a few weeks because the knee stops compensating for a hip that was not doing its job. I recommend performing this once daily every morning on both sides without exception, even if one side feels far weaker than the other, especially then. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Exercise number 3, the single leg bridge. This is the one that feels almost too easy for the first 2 seconds. Then it does not. Your glutes are the largest muscles in your body, and after 65, they are usually the most asleep. Years of sitting shut them down and force your lower back and hamstrings to do their job instead. That is where morning back stiffness truly comes from. It is not your spine wearing out. It is your glutes not working. The Japanese preserve these muscles almost by accident through a life of lowering to the floor and rising again. In the West, we sit down onto a chair and let the chair do the work. The single leg bridge rebuilds what that habit has quietly taken. Hip extension strength, which is what this movement trains, is directly tied to how safely you rise from a chair, a toilet, or a car seat. And it is one of the first capacities to decline in adults who go on to lose their independence. To perform it correctly, lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the mattress. Straighten one leg and hold it in line with your other thigh. Now press through the heel of the bent leg and lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from knee to shoulder. At the top, squeeze that glute hard for 2 full seconds. Then lower slowly, taking 3 seconds until your hips hover just above the bed. Do not rest. Go straight into the next repetition. The secret is in the squeeze at the top. Without it, your lower back and hamstrings will take over the entire movement and your glutes will stay asleep, which is the exact problem you are trying to solve. Keep both hip bones level as if you were balancing a glass of water on your pelvis. For beginners over 65, start with 6 repetitions per side. Progressively increase to 8, then 10 with a slower lowering. If a single leg is too much at first, do 2 weeks with both feet down before you split it. A common mistake is pushing through the lower back instead of the glute, which you will feel immediately as an arch and a pinch in the spine. Keep your ribs down. Another frequent mistake is letting the hips twist toward the working side, which hides the weakness instead of correcting it. Single leg work matters because almost everyone is stronger on one side, and that hidden gap is what later shows up as a limp, a stumble, or a fall. Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to information based on real science is what will let you keep your strength and your independence for the long term. Exercise number 4, ankle circles. Now we move to the joint that touches the floor first every single morning and the one almost nobody thinks to train, your ankles. Japanese daily life has always demanded far more ankle motion than ours. Kneeling, rising from the floor, removing shoes at the entrance of every home. Modern Japanese rehabilitation places heavy emphasis on the ankle for exactly this reason, because it is the foundation, everything above it stands on. After 8 hours of lying still, your ankles are the stiffest joints in your body. The fluid that keeps them gliding has settled, the muscles around them are cold, and then you ask them to carry your entire body weight the second your feet hit the floor. That is exactly why the first steps of the day feel unsteady for so many people over 65. Your ankles are also where your balance actually lives. Every tiny correction that keeps you upright, every small adjustment on a rug or a stair, begins at the ankle. When ankle motion shrinks, your body loses the ability to make those small corrections, so it starts making big ones instead. Big corrections are how people fall. Reduced ankle range of motion and weakness around the ankle are among the most consistent differences found between older adults who fall and those who do not. To perform it correctly, stay lying on your back or sit at the edge of the bed, whichever is easier. Lift one foot slightly, an inch or two is enough. Now slowly draw the biggest circle you can with your toes, taking 3 full seconds for one complete circle, moving through the fullest range your ankle allows. 10 circles in one direction, 10 in the other, then switch feet. The secret is in the size and the slowness of the circle. Small, quick circles use only a handful of muscles right at the joint. Big, slow circles recruit the entire network of small stabilizers through your foot and lower leg, and those are precisely the muscles that fade first with age. For beginners over 65, start with 10 circles in each direction on each foot, 2 sets. Progressively increase to 15 circles, 3 sets. If one ankle is stiffer, and one usually is, give it an extra set. A common mistake is letting the whole leg swing along with the foot. That is momentum, not exercise. Your leg must stay completely still while only the ankle moves. Another frequent mistake is stopping the moment you meet stiffness, instead of moving gently through it. Beyond strength, this exercise pushes blood and fluid out of the feet and ankles after a night of stillness, which noticeably reduces morning swelling and helps cold feet warm up faster. I recommend performing this twice a day, once in bed in the morning and once in the evening before sleep. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Exercise number 5, the supine clamshell. This is the Japanese bed movement from the title of this video and the single most valuable 90 seconds of your morning. Lie flat on your back, bring the soles of your feet together, and let your knees fall open to the sides so your legs form a diamond. This is a resting position Japanese people have used on the floor for generations, and in Japan it is treated as rest rather than as exercise, which is exactly why it is performed so often and so easily. This is not just a hip exercise, it is the movement that ties every other one in this video together because it trains both sides of the hip in a single motion. Nothing else here does that. Opening the knees trains the outer hip and the deep muscles that steer and rotate your legs. Closing them trains your inner thighs, the adductors, which collapse quietly with age and are directly connected to sideways instability and the loss of a steady stride. And the whole movement carries your hip joint through a range of motion that walking never touches, not in a single step. To perform it correctly, begin in that diamond position and rest there for one slow breath, feeling the stretch through your inner thighs. Then press your knees back up toward each other until they are a few inches apart, using your muscles rather than momentum. Squeeze and hold for 2 seconds, then open them back down slowly, taking 3 full seconds, resisting the whole way until you feel that stretch again. The secret is in the lowering. Most people let gravity pull the knees open, and gravity is not exercise. You must control the way down, 3 full seconds fighting it the entire time. That resisted opening is where the deep hip strength is actually built. For beginners over 65, start with 10 slow repetitions, which takes about 90 seconds. Progressively increase to 12, and then add a resistance band above your knees once the movement feels easy. A common mistake is arching the lower back away from the mattress as the knees open. If that happens, slide your heels a little further from your body until your back stays flat. Another frequent mistake is holding the breath during the squeeze. Breathe as you press your knees together and breathe in as you open them. This exercise is not suitable for anyone recovering from recent hip replacement surgery without clearance from their doctor because it moves the hip through rotation. For everyone else, it is one of the safest and most complete hip movements that exists. This is the exercise that changes everything, and if you only ever do one movement from this entire video, make it this one. Now, let us move on to our bonus exercise, which we have prepared especially for you. Bonus exercise, the full body reach. This is not a specific exercise for the legs, but it protects everything the other 5 movements build, and it takes 20 seconds. Consider it an extra gift from our video to you. The full body reach is simply this. Lying flat on your back, you stretch your arms overhead and your legs long in the opposite direction, and you gently reach in both directions at once as if something were pulling you apart from your fingertips and your heels. Spinal decompression is the primary benefit. Overnight and across the years, the discs between your vertebrae compress. When you lengthen the body in both directions, you create gentle space between them, and that space is what relieves the accumulated pressure of sitting and standing. Regular practitioners report a clear reduction in morning back stiffness within days. The second benefit is shoulder mobility. Range of motion in the shoulders decreases sharply with age, and it limits ordinary things like combing your hair, dressing yourself, or reaching a high shelf. This movement gently works to restore that reach without any load at all. To perform it correctly, lie flat on your back with your legs straight. Reach both arms up over your head toward the wall behind you as far as they comfortably go. At the same time, press your heels away in the opposite direction and point your toes gently down. Breathe in as you lengthen, hold for 5 seconds, then breathe out and relax completely. Repeat 5 times. The secret is that this is a passive movement. You are not straining, you are lengthening. If you feel effort in your neck or your jaw, you are trying too hard. For beginners over 65, start with 5 reaches of 5 seconds each, progressively increase to 10 seconds per reach. A common mistake is arching the lower back off the mattress to reach further. Keep your ribs down and your back flat. Another frequent mistake is holding the breath. Breathe in on the lengthening, out on the release. This movement is not suitable for anyone with an acute shoulder injury or severe shoulder impingement. For everyone else, it is the calmest possible way to end the routine and reset your posture for the whole day. And there you have it. 5 bed exercises and 1 bonus that for adults over 65, do something walking simply cannot do. Walking maintains what is left. These rebuild what is missing. You do not need a gym. You do not need equipment. You do not even need to stand up. All you need is the bed you are already lying in, and about 8 minutes before your feet touch the floor. Do them in order, 1 through 5, and every morning for 3 weeks. The strength is sitting right there, waiting. All it costs is showing up before you stand up. If you like this and want to discover the Japanese sitting and standing habits that keep the spine straight and the hips strong well past 80, we have left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one and how to perform it correctly. Do not miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.